So my thing is that the Nana's feelings are made extremely concrete. I mean, they're painfully clear of how much they love each other and in what way they love each other. You gotta think, Nana was created in the early 2000s, so we wasn't gonna get them being extremely open. We wasn't gonna get Avi and Caitlyn from Arcane. You feel me? Like, Nana walks so that Arcane can run. This is why we get them writing these love letters to each other, the whole manga. This is why we get them confessing these feelings, whether it's, the inner dialogue to themselves or them talking in their head or telling other people. This is why we get other people, Takumi and Rin, knowing that they love each other. Nobu knowing that Nana O loves Nana K. Takumi knowing that Nana O loves Nana K. Rin knowing. You get me? Like, we get it. The author made it painfully clear. Of course, there's always going to be people that only see them as platonic because, they also want to be able to look at the two Nanas as a representation of, like, maybe the love that they feel for their best friend. Hey, amen, say man. I totally understand, like, if people were like, no, like, I would just love to be able to look at this story as if they were just platonic best friends, because I feel like that kind of love is very good as well. And it's, underrated, and it should have representation. That's completely fine, too. But because, we can look at stuff through different lenses. But for people to be like completely deny that they have feelings for each other in that way, after they keep it's written in there so many times, I'm just like, oh, the Nile's a river. Like, when people be like, I feel the exact same way Nana O feels about Nana K about my friends, I'd be like, ooh, the closet. I'm afraid it's glass. Which is completely fine, honey. I understand that. But it's just the fact of the matter. I'm just like, okay, we can't deny what is already there. So now when you talk about, I think that their feelings would be made more concrete in the manga if it was finished, right? Again, they are made concrete. But if you're talking about if we were like get a kiss or a relationship, like a full-blown, hey, this is my girlfriend type, I don't know, because if the author were going to finish it, it's been on hiatus for like 20 plus years, right? I think she would need to question if she wants to keep the same ending that she had before, because the world has changed. Things has become more acceptable. I don't know all the media that the author has seen, but I'm like, shit. If I saw Arcane and I was working on Nana 20 plus years ago, I'd be like, well, shit. I mean, I could add some more stuff in there if that's the damn case. But you never know. If she were to finish Nana, she may want to keep it the exact same, like a early 2000s coded manga. You get me? So I could see if it was like, if she was going to keep it how she had it in the early 2000s, I could definitely see them finding Nana O, and maybe Nana K moving out there and being with Takumi and the son in proximity, not like being with Takumi. Because if she were to be in proximity to Nana O again, I feel like she would be all for like Nana O catching up, being enamored with her all over again. But then too, I could definitely see her getting with Nobu and Nana O being okay with the fact that she got with Nobu because it's Nobu. And she now has Hachiko, her little Hachiko, in her backyard again, compared to like, but I also can see there being an issue with the whole Takumi thing, because even toward the end of the manga, Junko's like, are you not going to divorce him? And she was just like, is there really any point in doing that anymore? Like, so much time has passed, and Junko's like, there's a lot of reasons. And I'm not going to lie, side note, with Junko saying there's a lot of reasons to divorce Takumi, it makes me think, because Takumi was, kind of all for them. Not in the beginning, but like, just, we see her being around, supporting, doing this, doing that, talking to Takumi, all that kind of stuff. It makes me think that in the future, does Junko know about the essay? Because in the beginning, Nana K didn't tell anyone. Does Junko know about the essay now? And that's like why she's like, F Takumi, you should divorce him. And now Nana K's like, it kind of seems like it's too late to do all that. It kind of doesn't seem like it would matter. But, so I don't know. It just seems like there would be some conflict, some drama. But who knows? I could definitely see if Nana K got her Nana O back, of her being like, you know what? Maybe I can do this. Like, being able to center Nana O again, I feel like she would maybe have the strength to leave Takumi. I don't know. The fact that Nana O's gone and it was always between Nana O and Takumi, it made it very easy to be with Takumi, I feel. But what happens when Nana O comes back? So yeah, that's one outcome I could see. I could see Nana K getting with Nobu and still being in love with Nana O, and Nobu kind of like being her cover up. Not gonna lie, like, you know how they used to be having lavender marriages? I feel like Nana O and Nana K and Nobu would be like that. And not saying that she wouldn't care about him. I feel like just the fact that we see that they still have feelings for each other, even after all this time. I feel like in the very beginning when people be like, oh, do you think Nana K really loved Nobu? I don't think she loved Nobu. They already have a whole panel about that, how she was, Junko was like, you thought you loved Nobu. And Nana K was like, yeah, but I shouldn't love Nobu, though. Why do I love Takumi? Why do I always love these bad guys? So she didn't love Nobu in the beginning. She just thought she did. She loved the idea of, like, this prince coming to save her, this, that, and the third, whatever. But post time skip, I do feel like there are feelings there. Because how could there not be, right? I don't know how deep those feelings are, but obviously they have feelings for each other. Now, so I do feel like it will be kind of like a lavender marriage type situation where she could stay in love with Nana O without anybody looking at them weird, but then still have the comfort of being with Nobu. So that's definitely one outcome. Now, if it was to be finished in 2025 and the author was like, you know what, F it, it's a different world now, I'm going to do a little bit more, I could definitely see Nana O and Nana K going back to apartment 707 and living together. I could see it. Or maybe Nana K being out there with Nana O and them getting a place together so that she can keep Nana O company, so that she's not alone, this, that, and the third, whatever the case is. But that she could still be out there with her son, right? I could see that too. Then there's the extreme idea of where it's just like, hey, we live in a different world now. I'm going to have them kiss and I'm going to have them actually get together and have a whole like climactic understanding of their feelings and it being like a super big thing. I don't know. It's like so much happened in the manga, but where it ended, oh my gosh, like where this hiatus took place, we were going to get into the thick of it. Because remember, the last panel is the fact that Asami was like, okay, cool, Nana, oh, you talking again, you verbal again, okay, cool. So you don't need Nana K right next to you. And she stopped and she was like, I don't need her next to me. I don't need her by my side anymore. Wait, what? See, I'm like, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like the author was gonna get into it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she was gonna get into it. And that's why I say it's okay for people to have, you know, their platonic views on it because the manga isn't finished. So if you can't read, I'm not gonna lie, you don't even need to read in between the lines to understand that they are romantically like in love with each other. But I feel like if you couldn't understand it by the first, what we get in the manga, I feel like the ending or just the rest of the manga being finished would have made it so clear that you just couldn't even, you couldn't deny it. Because I'm like, it was getting painfully clear, like painfully, to where Nana O kept being confronted with the fact that she loves this woman. She loves Nana K. And Nana K at this point, even just from hearing it from Takumi, like Nana K knew that Nana O loved her. She knows that she loves Nana O. But to hear it out of Takumi's mouth saying, this woman's in love with you, and her being like, damn, it's true. Like, it's dead ass true because Takumi don't lie. Like, he see it. I feel it. This is real. Because, you know, Nana K like to act like stuff not actually happening so she could just move the way she want to move. But it's just like, once it's out and she know Takumi knows, now she know for real, it's like, damn, now I got to move accordingly. So to answer your question, I know this is a long ass answer. But basically, I already feel like their feelings are made very clear in the manga. But yes, I do feel like if the manga was finished, they would be even more clear. Now, does that mean that they would probably be official girlfriends and girlfriends? No, I don't think she would have done it like that if it was in the early 2000s. And I don't know if she would change it like that just because it would be the 2025s, like if she, you know, finished it. But she would make it so clear because she would take us on this journey of these two women realizing that they fell in love with their best friend. I mean, we already see that. We already see it. But it would get deeper. It would get deeper. And then we don't even know why Nana O left. Like, we don't even know why they thought she was dead. So, like, what happened? Oh, my God. But anyway, yeah, it was going to be a roller coaster of emotions. But, hey, that's my hypothetical ending. But it was going to be good. That's all I know. I do agree with this. I feel like Junko put too much responsibility on herself when it came to Nana K's decisions and actions. And we see that Nana K puts Junko in this role of being like a mother. Like she said, oh, Junko, she's like a mother to me. She takes care of me better than my own mom. When in reality, if she was going to give Nana K advice, she should have just been like, well, this is what I would do. So you do with that what you will. At the same time, I can see how it could be a little frustrating when this person keeps coming to you crying, emotional, and telling you all these things that keep going wrong over and over and over again. You keep trying to give a solution and they're not listening, or they do their own thing anyway and they come to you. But at the same time, Junko should have just been like, look, girl, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I would do. That's just me, you know? You do with that what you will, because it would force Nana K to do what she want to do anyway. Because at the end of the day, Nana K does what she wants to do anyway. You get me? Like, even when it came to Junko saying, oh, maybe you shouldn't tell Nobu because this, that, and the third, and then Kyosuke's like, hey, well, maybe she should. Nana K did not want to tell Nobu anyway. We see later on when she's talking to Takumi, she's like, I don't want to talk about Nobu. I just want to forget about him. I just want to move on. I just want to forget. You want to forget about this man that was supposed to be your boyfriend? I thought he was your boyfriend. Why didn't he get closure? Nana K didn't want to do that. She didn't want to. So that's why, in that moment, although it may seem harsh that Junko's like, I mean, who's to say he gonna believe you anyway, girl? Because this whole situation messy as hell. So he might not even forgive you, or believe you. So, hey. But it's just like, that's why Nana K did what she did, because this is a time where what Nana K wants to do and what she was going to do anyway aligns with what Junko is now advising. So that's why she was just like quiet, and she was just like, yeah, I was going to do that anyway. I just wanted to, see what you was going to say. There are times in the manga where I feel that Kyosuke is a little too passive and feeds into Nana K's mask. I forget, I think it might have been that time where Nana K ran out of money because she spent it all at her job. And so she went to Kyosuke and Junko and was just like, I need money, da-da-da. And he was just going to give her money. And Junko was like, no, I know my friend. Don't give her money. Give her food to last her the rest of the month, or else she is going to spend that money. And, Nana K is just like, oh, well, it's me, whatever the case is. And Kyosuke has said something like, oh, maybe it is the Demon Lord. And he's like, no, it's not no Demon Lord. Like, no. It was either that time or maybe the time where they're talking about the Nobu Takumi situation, and Kyosuke was like, oh, maybe it's the Demon Lord. And it's like, no, these are just the consequences of her actions. It's simple as that. And Junko was always there to clock that. So it's like, I do feel like there are times where Kyosuke was too passive. There are times where Junko may be a little aggressive. But the point of the matter is, I do feel like they work best when they have a little bit of both. Like, for example, in that moment when it came to the Takumi and Nobu situation, I feel like communication is key. I mean, and this is just me personally. I always feel like communication is key, right? Even if it's going to hurt some feelings, this, that, and the third. In that type of situation, communication would have helped things, actually. But also because we have to remember, nobody's perfect in this manga. Nobody. But also in the world, right? To where I think that was a perfect moment where that showed. Where Junko, she doesn't know Nobu. She does not know that Nobu was begging for a crumb, just something from Nana. And it could have been a lie. He was just like, please, just lie to me. I don't give a damn. Just tell me something, right? And I feel like that was also maybe a reason why Nana K didn't want to tell him nothing, because she knew, like, he's going to accept that. So let me not. Because at the end of the day, it was one of those situations where even though Takumi wasn't acting right, it's not that she wants somebody else. It's that she just want him to act right. You know when a guy be like, oh, you deserve so much better than me, you should just get with somebody else. No, just be better. I want you to be better. That's what I want. I want you to be better. I don't want better. I want you to be better. And so then that night, she has Takumi, and although he ain't shit, it's like he was telling her all the right things. And then let's be real, her wife wasn't there. She even says later on in the manga, she's like, that's really the reason I went with Takumi that night and the next day, because Nana wasn't there. It's just what it was. If she would have came, it would have been a little different. And again, crazy to make that type of big ass decision just because Nana O wasn't there that night. But that's who Nana is. That's who Nana K is. You feel me? Like, that's what, So again, Nobu's presence wasn't enough. That night with Takumi saying the things that he was saying and being there physically for her, it was as if finally she's getting the guy that she wants to act right in that moment. And then the next morning, that whole thing that night where Junko was like, you're gonna be with a guy who's not willing to marry you. You see, he's willing to get you pregnant, but you're not willing to marry you. And then the next day he start acting right, saying he gonna get married to her. Everything was lining up. Everything was lining up. So whole ass mess situation. But I feel like that was a perfect situation on top of the situation where Junko didn't tell Nana K right away. Now, mind you, I have different I'm talking about telling Nana K right away about the Shoji situation. Even though she didn't know much about it, she just knew, like, okay, obviously there's this another girl who got his attention, this, that, and the third. Obviously, yeah, they didn't sleep together, this, that, and the third, but she don't know much about it. But she was just like, look, y'all, you might have some trouble in paradise. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to stay out of it, because I do feel like Junko should have stayed out of stuff more, right? But then you have this person coming to you wanting advice and begging advice. And it's your friend. I mean, again, everybody's going to view that whole situation differently, where it's just like, look, that's none of my business, because both of y'all are immature as hell, and y'all really shouldn't even be together. Or more of like, well, I'm going to just say, look, check your garden, girl. Make sure there ain't no weeds in your garden. And I feel like that was the approach that Junko took, because they're both her friends. And it's funny because a lot of people be like, and this is me, but a lot of people be like, oh, Junko's her best friend. Nana K's her best. Well, they'll say Nana K is Junko's best friend. And I'm like, Nana K doesn't give Junko's best friend. Junko gives Nana K's best friend until Nana O showed up, if that makes sense. And then until the lines blurred with Nana O becoming like a love interest. But Junko's just trying to do her. She was very okay with leaving. She did not want Nana K to go to Tokyo with her. She wanted her to do her own thing. She wanted out, right? They were very quick to be like, okay, now she's somebody else's problem. Not only was her mother like that, but Junko was like that as well. Now she's somebody else's problem. Like, okay, right? Some people reading Nana is not going to, they're not even going to understand that feeling, because they might be that person that people are willing to, and ready to get up out of here. Some people who have been on the other side of that be like, yes, I want to make sure this person's okay and that they stay alive. And they are cool. They're a friend, but they're not my best friend. But I'm their best friend, obviously, because they ain't got nobody else. And so now, because they're doing stuff and they're irresponsible, this, that, and third, you're trying to give them advice. They're coming to you. They're clinging to you. That's something that Nana K does as well. Yeah, I'm going to give them advice. I'm going to try to guide them, but that's the best that I could do. Right? So I feel like that's a whole nother different perspective of like, hey, everybody's like, that's that best friend code. That's not her best friend. Maybe that's Nana K's best friend, because she don't have no other friends. That's another problem. Nana K don't have no other friends. Let's be real. Same thing later on we see in the Tokyo with Blast. Like, Nana K has no other people other than people she knew, like, okay, again, Junko, this, that, and third. But before that, she knew nobody else. She was sleeping with this married man, getting groomed by this married man. She just had Junko, and that's it. You get me? Like, this is a very peculiar situation, where we sometimes see stuff happen to women and to girls when they're isolated and they don't have a community. They don't have girlfriends. They don't have that. And Nana K is definitely an example of this. So anyway, just to wrap it up, saying that that's another time where we see that Junko isn't perfect either. Never said Junko was perfect. I do like Junko. The side note, when people ask me who's my favorite character in Nana, I used to say Junko. But now I don't say Junko anymore, because I just don't feel like it's fair, because Junko's not a big part of the story compared to everybody else, where we're seeing so much of them and so much of their mess. And then we have somebody who's not as problematic or not as toxic as these other people. Of course, that's an easy cop-out to be like, oh, Junko or Kyosuke, or, So I don't really even say Junko. I feel like she don't even count. So when people ask me, because somebody did ask me, so if you're watching this, I don't like them. I like them all the same, if that makes sense. And some I like less than others. But if not, I don't really like them. I see them. I acknowledge them. It's a great manga. Very complicated, very complex. But I don't have a favorite character in Nana. I used to, before I really started analyzing and rereading. Now I don't. Because, they're just humans. They're just messy. And it's just, hey, But I don't have a favorite. I don't really have a favorite. But yeah, I think I wrapped this up. I'll be going on tangents. Maybe I'll do a part two. We'll see. And honestly, I'm not surprised that the author's favorite character is Takumi. She probably had the most fun writing his character and enriching his character with all those layers. And honestly, she probably had a lot of fun writing Nana K as well. I mean, honestly, when you really look at it, they're all very complex. Like, they're all very complex, every character. But I say Nana K and Takumi because I feel like the same people who, not saying you gotta like Takumi, but the same people who cannot see past the essay scenes. And again, not saying that you should excuse his behavior, but the people who cannot see past his essay scenes to be able to see that he's also human and to be able to see that, he has other layers to him and complexities to him and he's not just the devil. They're usually the same people who can only see Nana K as solely a victim, and they only see the facade that is created for Nana K, that she creates or that is written for her to create for herself. They fall for the trap like how Nobu did and even Nana O. And that always just shows me that, okay, so y'all didn't get all those complexities. Okay, that's completely valid. That's fine. But you didn't get it. Like you stopped at like that first layer. You didn't get to the deeper layer. Because that had to be so fun to write, to be like, ooh, let's see if they catch that. Ooh, let's see if they catch this. Let's see. I'm gonna put up a little wall right here. We're gonna see if they get these little crumbs and then they get the whole core. Because if I was the author, Anana, I'll just sit back. I'm gonna sit back and listen to the think pieces and see who got it. Let's see who got it. Because it's like all that work. Imagine like all that work to put in all these inner monologues, all these scenes, all this and all that for people. Some people to just completely ignore it is crazy. But it has to be satisfying when you do see people who are able to see your characters in their entirety, because that means they're able to appreciate your work and acknowledge your work, and your effort, right, in its entirety. But yeah, me personally, I would have loved to see how she continued to enrich his character. I know some people were asking, do you think he had a redemption arc? I feel like I saw somebody in the comment be like, I don't think it was a redemption arc that he would have gotten. It would have been more of like an enrichment, like enriching his character more by seeing him do different things, seeing him come to realizations of different things. I feel like I like that word better because yes, you can't take back what he did. You can't take back the essay of Nana K. Absolutely not. But what you can do is give us more context, give us more details, or give us more backstory, give us more moving forward and, what is it called? Like how you can repent in different ways. I mean, you can't take back what you did, but you can do different for the future. I know she was going to show us more of that because we see a completely different version of Takumi post time skip. I want to see him as a father. We see a little bit of him as a father. We just get a little bit. He seems so much softer. He seems kind. He seems, remorseful. He seems like he has a lot of sorrow, right? And guilt. His eyes are even drawn, like his gaze looks so much softer compared to in the manga. When he glares at you, that should cut like a knife. But I want to see that with Nana K too. I want to see how she is as a mother, and not just a little bit that we saw with, Sasuke, but like, cause I mean, it kind of seems like she's still her. I want to see when, she drops that. You get what I mean? How is she? But back to Takumi again, I want to see how he is as a father. I want to see how he is now after everything hit the fan. Again, we still don't even know why everybody is split up the way that they are. For one. For two, we obviously see that his hair is cut. And that's a thing. That's a symbol, right? The different hair lengths. Like, for example, with Takumi, that was a big part of his character. The long black hair, right? Nana K always loved guys with long hair. Nana O wished for a guy for Nana K with long hair. And he came in, right, with the long hair, this, that, and third. And now he cut his hair, right? Compared to somebody like Nana O, who they parallel heavily, right? Even when it comes to being the center of Nana K's loyalty and devotion, they parallel. They were always rivals in that right? Or even love interests, right? To see that Nana O has long hair, right? Even symbolizing, okay, holding on to stuff. Think about it. When people cut their hair, It's not all the time, but let's say they do a big chop, and it's not always like a big chop, like, okay, completely bald, but like, it's usually to get rid of something, right? Either get rid of bad energy, get rid of bad memories, lay over a new leaf, have a start fresh, start a new journey, right? Out with the old, in with the new, letting go of the baggage. Compared to somebody like Nana O, we don't even know why she's in London. We don't know what happened, because at one point they're saying that they thought she was dead. So we don't even know. But her hair is long. She let her hair grow out. That means something compared to Takumi, who cut his hair. So that shows me he's laying over a new leaf, right? With compared to Nana O, where it's like she's holding on to stuff, right? She's holding on to stuff. I need to probably make a video about the hair types and how the hair looks and all that kind of stuff. I'll do that. But yeah, I would just love to see more, because I just know that journey of seeing this person's character become more and more enriched would have been very satisfying. But yeah, it is not a surprise to me that her favorite character would be him. I mean, think about it. As just a writer, I would think that you would gravitate more toward the characters that are complex, that have depth, who's not, you don't just, what you see is what you get. It's like, no, like, you gotta dig. It's an onion, there's layers, honey. But this is exactly why Nana K feels comfortable around people like Junko and around people like Takumi, because they see right through the bullshit. They see right through the facade. Think about in the manga when she says, oh, I'm not the innocent girl next door that Nobu thinks I am, and I'm not as pure as or innocent as Nana O thinks I am. She never mentions Junko, and she never mentions Takumi, because they both know who she is and how she is. This is why she says she likes listening to Takumi, because she can trust his word, because he doesn't waver and he's objective, or he sees things objectively, and so it seems like it's the harsh truth, when in reality he's just being honest. When she was saying her truth is skewed, so therefore her reality is skewed, because it's her own ideals, her own desires, like all that kind of stuff. That's how she views the world. But she sees that Takumi views it more objectively. Same thing with Junko, to where she sees through Nana K's facade. It just is what it is. We don't always like the delivery of Junko, and Junko's not perfect either, right? But again, she sees through the bullshit, and that's something that Nana K values, because then around them she doesn't have to try to be a certain way. And with Junko, when she is, and same thing with Takumi, when she is acting that certain way, when she's having that facade up, when she's acting ditzy or oblivious, or she wants to act like she just wants to forget everything that just happened and move on, they always call her out on it. And she values that. She knows that she needs that, because it's as if she can't do it herself. She does it with her inner monologue, but actually putting everything into practice and moving the way she needs to, she doesn't do it. And it's like, she doesn't have to do it. If nobody calls her out on it, she will keep living behind that facade. And this is why she doesn't feel as comfortable with people like Nobu, even though he was saying all the right things. She knows that he can give her the romance that she would want, that she craves, but she would not be able to be herself. She would always have to live behind this mask, behind this facade, because that's the version of her that he has fallen in love with. And so that's why she was always like, Nobu, please stop idolizing me, because if you knew who I really was, you wouldn't even like me, bro. And that was always going to weigh on her, of like, damn, you don't even know me for real. You don't. And I can't. I'm sorry. But somebody like Junko and Takumi know that she be full of shit, but they still be friends with her. Or like Junko be still friends with her, Takumi still wants to deal with her, right? Even if their arrangement can benefit him as well, he's still willing to do this with her, instead of being like, oh, I'll just send child support and go. He did say that when they got into it that one time, but before the fact, he could have always been like, I'll just take care of the baby with child support. I don't want to deal with you. I could pay you hush money. He never did that. He was willing to marry her and be okay with going public with her and all that kind of stuff. So she's like, oh, he knows who I am, how I can be, how I move, how I maneuver and move through life. And he still wants to be seen with me. Like that's something that she values, right? Same thing with Junko. She knows I'll be full of it, but she's still my friend and she still gives me advice even when I don't be taking it, but she still be giving me advice, right? Like, that's a lot. She still hears me out. That's a lot. Even though I personally feel that Junko probably should have took more of a step back and been like, you know what, girl, this a lot, but this is what I would do. Do with that with what you will. I'm not getting all worked up. I'm not giving too much energy to this shit because you're not my child. Like, you're not. But Nana K put her in that position of being a mother and being a moral compass for her. So, yeah, people will villainize anybody who calls Nana K out. Whether they're in the fandom, whether they're in the manga, they'll villainize anybody who call her out on stuff. It just is what it is. But it's funny because the character values the honesty. Because that honesty equates to them being able to see the real her. And that honesty plus them being able to see the real her plus them sticking around means a lot, right? Compared to, like, you know, in the beginning where her and Shoji had got into it and he called her out on her bullshit and he was like, yeah, I'll be happy to leave because then I don't got to be around you no more. That had to have hurt because, yeah, she realized, yeah, I don't be considering people's feelings, but that had to have hurt of, like, someone kind of seeing how I move, the real me, and they don't want to be around me no more, right? Because I hurt them. I did. I hurt them, but that has to hurt also because her biggest fear is being alone. Compared to these two people, even though I may stress them out, I may do this, I may do that, they're still being around me. She values that. And like you said, they are the two people that treat her like an adult and hold her accountable and understand that she's an adult instead of this ditzy girl that, you know, is always the victim, can't do anything, you know, right? She needs to be having somebody do it for her. La, 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 la. Like, no, she's a grown ass woman and she appreciates them for that. And I do too, as, you know, as an audience member reading this shit. I'm like, I appreciate that. There needs to be a balance. Oh, absolutely. Like, if Nana K had higher self-esteem and just higher self-worth and just confidence, true, actual confidence and just self-love, there wouldn't even be a manga Nana. Like, she wouldn't even be in any of these predicaments. She wouldn't even have been with Takumi. And if she was still with Takumi, just because, let's say, you know, the hype, she wanted to, you know, be with Takumi, just to say that, hey, I was with Takumi, she would have had that man wear a condom. She would have had him wear a condom. It just is what it is. We would have seen her with some life goals, right? Some dreams and aspirations. We would have seen her with more of those. We would have seen her achieving them or pursuing them. We would not have met her the way that we did. We met Nana K changing her entire being to be chosen by a man. Changing what she ate so that she would lose weight so she would be more thin, changing what she wore, changing the movies that she watched, the TV shows, changing her hobbies, changing her major, changing... Of course, that has a lot to do with low self-esteem, child. Her fear of being alone. Like, if you have high self-esteem, and this is not saying that secure people don't want to be alone, but saying you are not afraid. You're usually not going to be afraid of being alone. You're not going to be afraid of solitude. You're not going to be afraid of being single. You're not going to be you're not going to have that fear of never being chosen because you don't have somebody right now. You know, you're not going to have that fear usually. That usually stems from some type of insecurity. Nana K's whole being, like, she is... I mean, it's not just her that's a symbol of, like, insecurities, right? But at her core is her insecurity, low self-esteem, low confidence, lack of self-love, lack of self-worth. That's at her core is all of that festering. When we peel back all those layers, when we take back the facade of, like, the ditzy, you know, innocent girl next door, this is where you get these things, right? When she says that she appreciates that Takumi understands that she's empty. She views herself as empty. And this is why she keeps trying to fill her void with people, right? And to center someone so she can fill her void, that empty space, with somebody. We also see Reira do this. And she don't give a damn who she fills the space with, even if it's a minor. Nana K and Reira also parallel when it comes to filling that void with somebody. right? They're not exactly the same, no, but they parallel in that way. They share that same aspect of where they feel empty. Something is missing. And it's because of their own stuff that they have to deal with. They all need therapy, honey. I would have loved to see how the author chose to enrich Nana K's character post time skip, and just the rest. I feel it was coming. Just like how I feel we would have seen something with Takumi. We see it already post time skip, how he's changed. I would have loved to see in ways how Nana K has changed too. And if she did, right? Sometimes some characters don't change. I don't know what the author's plan was, but I kind of feel like she was going to have some massive changes in some way, shape, or form. I would have loved to see that self-love arc, the self-worth, getting the confidence, letting the facade down, confronting that loneliness, confronting that void, right? And dealing with that, acknowledging it, stop trying to hide it, and then seeing how the people around you move from knowing the true you. I would have loved to see that. But yes, absolutely. her low self-esteem, huge part of that facade, wearing that facade. Think about it. You're putting up a facade and a face and a mask because you do not, first of all, you don't think that your real self is even worthy. You don't think that your real self is capable of creating these connections, of winning over somebody's affections, right? You're afraid that when people find out the real you, who you are, how you move, how you think, how you act, that they don't want to be around you, right? But also, it kind of reminds me of fulfilling prophecy a little bit, because in the process of having this mask, you are hurting people, you are being selfish, but then you get upset because you're like, when it shit hits the fan, you're like, oh, I tend to be so selfish and I manipulate people and I do this and I do that. I'm a terrible person. I shouldn't. I don't deserve this. But it's just like, but you don't have to do this though. Like, you don't have to be like this, you know. And so now you feel more unworthy of people's love, of people's affection, of genuine connections and all these type of things. But at the same time, taking advantage, at times. But then that validates that feeling of like, oh, I'm horrible. Oh, I'm a piece of shit. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, right? But it's just like, you could be better though. So it's like a negative feedback loop, a vicious cycle. And this is why she values when people are very honest with her, like Takumi and Junko, because they see the real her. They know she ain't shit, and they know she be bullshitting. They still stay, they still stick around, but they call her out on it, and she appreciates that instead of her having to always act like she, kind of like the facade she puts up with Nobu, right? And even Nana O. This is why Nana O felt like she was, even betrayed even more when the whole Takumi Noble situation happened, because she was just like she's a liar, and like she kind of like betrayed us in this way. Like, yes, of course, Nana O was looking at it on different levels, but she was able to see like, oh, so she played. Like, oh, okay. Oh, so you be lying. Oh, you be withholding the truth. Oh, so you not as innocent as you act. Oh, okay. Like, this hurts, but okay. Right? And of course she cool because she forgave her and because she loved her. But it's just like, oh, like, it was that realization, right? And so that's another thing of like, again, negative feedback loop of her being like, I don't think Nobu would forgive me. I don't know if he'll believe me. I don't want him to be mad at me and hate me. So therefore, I'm not even going to give him the chance to, for me to have to put that wall down, if that makes sense. Nana K deciding to move in with Takumi and agreeing to get married to him, I wouldn't say it was the right decision. I will say that it was a decision. It was an option. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do are things, and we decide if it's negative or positive or bad or good or right or wrong. So ultimately, Nana K decided and made that decision. She chose that option with the perspective that it was going to give her the greatest benefit. I did a whole YouTube video on this, right? Analyzing Takumi and Nanake's relationship. It's on my YouTube at Shania X Trotter. You can check it out. We ain't gonna get into all that. But basically, she chose that option because she saw the most benefit in that option, right? On multiple levels, right? Not just that, okay, this is most likely take Takumi's baby because we ain't never wore protection, and Nobu did. We always wore protection, so it ain't his baby. It's Takumi's baby. So therefore, that's the father. That's the father. So it would be nice for the father to be in the child's life and for me not to be doing this thing alone. On top of the fact that, single mothers get a negative stigma. On top of the fact that Nana K is horrible with money. On top of the fact that who gonna help her raise this damn baby? Because Nana Obi talking about she gonna help raise a baby, but she has animosity toward mothers who are ill prepared to have a child because her mom was ill prepared and abandoned her. Nana O couldn't even be there for her that night because not only does she have these mixed feelings about mothers who are ill prepared and having children, but then two, she is heartbroken because she's in love with Nana K. So therefore, she couldn't even be there for her as a friend because she feels like you betrayed her. So, Nana O be talking about, I'll take care of you and your baby. No, you won't. Because when it came down to it, you ran away like your mama. So I can't rely on you. What? On top of the fact, Takumi does have money. It is what it is. Like, say what you want, but he does. And Nana K always wanted that. She's always wanted to just be like a housewife, get taken care of. On top of the fact, Takumi is literally her favorite on her favorite band. So for her, she's like, well, shoot, this is the father. He got money, right? She was living big, living large. She's like, well, shit, my life is paid for. The child's life is paid for. And I'm getting married to him. I got 18 years out of him at least, at the least. Anything happens, I got child support. But even then, even when they got into it that one time, he was like, look, I'll take care of the child support. That's fine. She got child support, so she good. And that's a perfect example because he told her, he was like, look, we don't gotta, if you think I'm that bad, we don't gotta be together. I'll take care of child support and you could go live with your family, your mom. And she didn't take that. This is a perfect example how I said it's an option that she thought that she was going to get the most benefit out of. And that's why she chose that option. And this is why I always say don't insert yourself too much where you're just like, no, it was a terrible option. If I was in that situation or my mom was in that situation, my aunt was in that situation. Like, we're talking about Nana K. We're talking about Nana K. And we have to look at why she chose that option and why she did stay when there was no ball and chain. Even when the beginning, before the second essay scene between her and Takumi, he was just like, look, you can go be with your mom. If I'm that bad, you can go be with your mom, bro. Like, you could. This is why I say social exchange theory, right? These relationships are transactions, right? Because if they didn't feel like they were getting the best deal, both of them, there would be no relationship or arrangement, whatever you want to call it. She felt that moving in with him and getting married to him was the best deal for her. That she was benefiting from it. Because and people get mad when you say they both benefited from their relationship. They don't like to hear that, hey, a victim, because yes, she is a victim of SA when it comes to Takumi, can benefit from their arrangement or relationship from their abuser. That may be too close to home for some people to talk about and look at objectively in this situation. This does not mean that all victims benefit from their relationship with their abusers. No, we're talking about Nana K and Takumi. It's why she chose that option. And it's why she stayed with that option. So this is why I don't say it was necessarily the right thing to do, but for what she wanted, she got what she wanted. In the sense of a father to take care of her child, financial support, a partner, a husband. Remember when we met Nana K, she literally changing her whole being so that she could get picked by somebody. Her biggest fear is being alone. She's been looking to be picked the entire time. On top of the fact, looking to be picked by somebody that she could actually be herself around. This is why she felt like she couldn't really be with Nobu. Nobu was saying all the right things, so she thought she was in love with him. But then it really came down to the fact that she was not in love with Nobu. She loved Takumi. Somebody also who she could be herself with. She said he's like her partner in crime because he knows how empty she is, and he still like her. So it's like, at least like, again, she's like, I know he ain't shit, I ain't shit for real, but at least we know that, and we can navigate this thing together. On top of the fact that she feels that he keeps her feet on the ground when she's up in the clouds too much. She's like, I can trust his word when it comes to just his objectivity or his brutal honesty. I can trust that, because she's like, my perceptions on things are skewed because I work off of emotions, my own ideals, right? And he's just brutally honest. So she's like, he's the yin to my yang in a way. But what are the costs, right? At what cost? The essay, right? That control, right? The lack of freedom. And yes, he's not having her like ball and chain, but when it comes to the lack of freedom, when it comes to like, okay, Rayra's birthday, he didn't want her there, even though her friends was going to be there. But now he, with him marrying Nana K, he has now involved somebody in the business, when to her, those are her friends and she's not in the business. So he's like, I want to keep my family life and my business life separate, but it's hard because she's also friends with Nana O and with Blast and everything like that. So she can't just simply be a trap nest girl. She can't really be that only, right? That's what he would want, right? But he can't really get that. And when he doesn't get that, and also when he sees her loyalty wavering, what does he do? That second essay scene, right? But sadly, she decides that cost does not outweigh the benefit, and therefore that's why she stays. This is social exchange theory. Like I said, I did a whole video on it. Check my YouTube, Shania X Trotter. But yeah, like, so I never say necessarily it was the right decision, but I will say that what she wanted, she did get, minus the romantic aspect, right? The romance of it all. But because she's getting stuff that she wanted, that's why she is choosing that option, sticking with that option, because she is benefiting from it, just like he's benefiting from it. It even comes with cost on his end too. So that's what I will say. Instead of saying, oh yeah, it was the right decision, it was a decision. And then we have to look at why she chose that decision. And we see, oh, that's why. It makes sense why she chose. To me, it makes sense why she chose that decision. Was it the right one? I will not say it was the right one. I will say it was a decision. Because she could have definitely just took his advice and was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna just be with my mama, you just send the child support. But she wouldn't be getting what she would have wanted out of that transaction, when staying with him would have given her what she would have wanted out of that transaction, right? Which would have gave her the bigger benefit. So, like I said, social exchange theory, y'all. You will see their relationship so clear as a transaction rather than just a relationship. It would have been nice for Nana O to be there for Nana K the night they found out she was pregnant, but let's be real, we can't blame Nana K's decisions on anybody but her. I've seen a lot of people say this in the fandom of like, oh, whenever Nana K's alone, that's when she makes a better decision. People should have been there for her more, or like been physically there with her in the room when she's making the decisions. And I'm just like, y'all, again, we're taking accountability away from Nana K, as if she can't make these decisions on her own, as if she's not a grown-ass woman. And then we're putting that responsibility on the people around her. Again, as if she's not a grown-ass woman. This is where we get people like Junko who feel super responsible for Nana K and the decisions that she makes. And this is why Junko gets really riled up, right? Because she's taking on like this mother role, this moral compass for this other grown person. And that can be frustrating. And she's not perfect either. And then you get the fandom hating on her when she gives her input, when she gives her guidance that Nana K is going to her for. And then when Junko may say something that the fandom doesn't like, right now it's, oh, we hate Junko, instead of being like, hey, maybe we should be holding Nana K accountable and making her make her own decisions. Because she does that anyway. Any advice that Junko gives her, she only follows it if it's what she wants to do anyway. Hence the whole Nobu and Takumi situation. But everybody else in the manga, all the decisions that they make, everybody holds them to those decisions. I just continuously see people not holding Nana K up to those same standards. I feel like the only person that we can give leeway to in that way is maybe Sheen, because he's a minor. But everybody else, they're adults, right? And Masato. But yeah, pretty much everybody else is adults, and we have to hold them accountable. So if you're somebody that's like, oh, it just seemed like every time she was left alone, Nana K made a bad decision, just gear that frustration at Nana K herself rather than the people who maybe weren't in the room with her at the time. Because when they're by themselves and they're making these decisions, you're seeing who that character is and what they truly want for them, what they feel is the best for them in that moment, compared to being swayed by having somebody else's presence there. The fact that Nana O wasn't there that night showed what she truly thought was best for her in that moment. As a reader, I actually liked the fact that Nana O wasn't there because, like I said, she would have been swayed by the fact that Nana O was there compared to her making the decision that she thought was best for her, right? Even though Nobu was there, her still not giving him that closure, her still not just being truthful and honest about that whole entire situation, his presence still not being enough, right? Compared to having like this other lover, right? Other, like, as well as a best friend, this other safety net to be there and to kind of take that stress away from her. Now she had to be confronted with the situation completely raw, right? And yes, it was a lot, but at the end of the day, she still did what she thought was best for her in that moment and what she wanted to do. Like I said, her Nana K and Takami's situation arrangement, it's a transaction, right? Again, I'm telling y'all, social exchange theory, relationships are a transaction. And so she looked at the deal and was like, okay, how can I get the most benefit out of this deal? This does not mean with this arrangement or transaction relationship she has with Takami, it doesn't mean that she doesn't suffer, right? We definitely see that she suffers from it as well. But and the reason why she stays is also because she's looking at all the benefits and saying, hey, the benefits outweigh the cost to her, right? And this is where people get it messed up, where they're like, no matter what, like, she doesn't benefit, because they're looking at it from their perspective compared to looking at it from Nana K's perspective. She believes that she is getting the benefit outweighs the cost to her. To other people, they may not think so, right? But to her, she's like, I'm getting the best deal from the things that I want and that I value. So therefore, that's what she chose. Would it have been nice for Nana O to be there just to have that support? Yes, right? But at the same time, we can't blame Nana O not being there for Nana K's decisions, especially if you think that, oh, it seems like she always had a bad decision. It's like, no, we're seeing the decision that she actually wants to make because there are no other distractions. On another note, I don't even know if Nana O being there would have gave what everybody in the fandom thinks it would have gave. Because again, Nana O is not just looking at Nana K as a best friend. She in love with that girl. That's why she ran off, because she was heartbroken. And it wasn't no, oh, I'm so mad at my best friend for getting pregnant by this dude. No, it was, oh my God, the person that I love in this way, and I can't even understand my feelings all the way because this is my first time feeling this for a girl. She's pregnant by the op. The op. And so she ran off and she blacked the hell out, right? Unraveling. So Nana O being there, I don't even think it would have made the situation better. On top of the fact that when we didn't even know that Nana K was pregnant, Nana O already mentioned her distaste and disgust for mothers that have children unprepared, right? And they're not ready to have the child. They're not in a good position. She already mentioned that. That's why Nana K didn't want to tell her in the first place. Well, that's one of the reasons. So me personally, I don't even think Nana O being there would have gave what it was supposed to give at all. Because people want her to be there in a best friend role only, in like a supportive role only, not a brokenhearted, like looking like a brokenhearted lover type shit. Or someone who was abandoned by their mother, right? And who chose their man over the child. Like, I really don't think that Nana O would have been able to be super supportive that night. And I mean, I feel like that's another reason why she didn't go, because she just couldn't be there the way that she would have needed to be there for Nana K. Because think about it. Think about if Nana O was a man. Just for real. Because some people really, they refuse to see everything that the author puts in there for the context clues. Everything is just right in your face. So just to make it easier, imagine if Nana O was a guy. Everything that Nana O has said, everything that Nana O has and Nana K has done, even her saying that she has feelings for Nana K, saying that to Rin. Imagine if Nana O was a guy. Imagine. Then when she says, oh, looking at Nana K, it feels like I'm a boy falling in love. Like, every little thing that she does makes a movement in my heart like a typhoon. Like, it will be very clear, right? There will be no, oh, they're just platonic. There will be none of that, right? So then imagine that night finding out that she got pregnant by Takami. I doubt that people would expect Nana O, this guy, to be there that night. They just wouldn't even expect it. And then if they was there, think about it. It might have been a fight. Not gonna lie, it might have been a fight between Takami and Nana O, who's this guy. because it would be so clear that they're like rivals for this person's heart. So clear. So I feel like because Nana O is a woman, and because a lot of people try to like refuse to see that they love each other. It's not just no best friend shit. The author makes it very clear. They still expected her to be there. And ignoring the fact that this girl is heartbroken because she's a girl, right? They're ignoring it. And I'm just like, look, this author, I'm reading Paradise Kiss now, and this author has a transgender woman, and the other main character, George, he's bisexual. This is nothing new to this author. She has no problems showing representation of the LGBTQ plus community. So again, I'm like, I would not have expected Nana O to be there necessarily. It would have been nice, but me knowing that she is in love with that girl, I could see how she's like, hold the hell on. I need to take a minute because this is a lot. I would fully expect Nobu to be there though, since he was the boyfriend. Sadly, his presence wasn't enough for Nana K because that's not who she really loved. But yeah, not saying that this commenter is blaming Nana O for Nana K's decisions, but just saying I see that a lot in the fandom of like, when people feel like Nana K made a poor decision, they start to look at the people around her as if she's a child. Again, falling back into that the Hachi name of like a dog, right? When a dog does something, bites up somebody's shoes, pees on the floor, does this, does that, whatever the case is, or being really loud and barking everywhere, who do they look at? They look at the owner like, come get your dog. Like, what? Hello? They bit up my shoe. You gonna pay for it? Because you're the owner, right? They start to look at the people around the dog because they're like, oh, it's just a dog. Like the dog, you get me? So for her, again, to even be having that name Hachi, taking accountability, right? She needs to have an owner. She can't just be alone, right? She's a symbolization of loyalty and devotion, unwavering loyalty and devotion, which makes that scene even worse for Nana O because she thought she had her unwavering loyalty and devotion, when in reality, it was split between Nana O and Takumi. Nobu thought he had her wavering loyalty and devotion, when really he didn't have that shit at all. So yeah, let's just give Nana K more accountability because she is grown, she is smart, and she is a very complex character. For this one, I would need to see Nana K's backstory because we don't get to see her childhood, right? We meet her trying to change herself to be picked by these men, but we don't know why. Why is it so vital for you to be chosen? Why are you trying to fill such a void? Why is your self-esteem so low? On top of like, yes, us living in a patriarchal society, this being a man's world, whatever. But it's just like, what got you there? Right? What got you there? I kind of feel like we might have gotten that if the manga was finished. I don't know, maybe. Because, we get these backstories throughout the manga. But that one we need desperately to enrich Nana K's character. Because we can say middle child syndrome, but not all middle children act like that. This is coming from a middle child myself. And yes, I don't want to self-insert too much. That's why I'm just like, well, but what about for Nana K? That it may be the case for her. But we don't see her childhood. So therefore, and me and her are different. And our childhoods are different. So it's like, I can't just say, oh no, that's not it because I'm a middle child. No, I can't say that because it may be the case for her, but we don't know because we don't see her childhood. And I'm just like, damn, that would have enriched her character so much and gave us so much more insight. So I can't completely knock it. It could be, but I can't really even give an analysis on that necessarily because we don't have anything to work with. We don't see any of her childhood. We see a little bit of her family dynamic, but that's now. I need to see back then. I need to see how she interacted with her parents. What was the dynamic in her household? I need to see, did she feel like she didn't get enough attention? Like what's going on? Like what created this big void that you feel that you need to fill with somebody? What got your self-worth that fucking low? Honestly, truly. So yeah, that's just my answer to that. I can't really go deep into that because we don't have enough source material. That's just me. Somebody else could be like, oh yeah, I think that's what it is. That's fine. Y'all know me. I like to go off of what is there and we could break it down, what we see, but I don't have enough information.